It was one of those cold winter evenings when the city seemed to fall silent under a blanket of snow. The streets were empty, the lamps flickered through the mist, and the sound of crunching footsteps echoed like whispers in the dark. Amelia, a young woman in her late 20s, wrapped her coat tightly around herself as she walked home from another long shift at her marketing firm. Her breath formed small clouds in the frosty air, and her mind was heavy with thoughts of overdue bills, work stress, and the loneliness that winter always seemed to bring. She turned the corner to her apartment building and stopped. There, sitting quietly on the doorstep, was a man with a small child asleep in his arms. His clothes were neat but damp from snow, his eyes tired yet kind. The little girl, with golden curls and rosy cheeks, was snuggled close to his chest, clutching a worn-out teddy bear. For a moment, Amelia hesitated. She wasn't used to strangers lingering near her home. But something about the scene tugged at her heart, maybe the innocence of the child or the exhaustion in the man's eyes. "Are you okay?" she asked softly, stepping closer. The man looked up. His voice was low and calm, yet filled with quiet gratitude. I'm sorry. We didn't mean to intrude. My daughter and I missed our train, and the nearest hotel is full. We just needed somewhere warm to wait until morning." Amelia's eyes softened. The city wasn't kind to people without shelter on nights like this. And though she knew nothing about this stranger, something told her he wasn't dangerous, just a father doing his best. "Come inside," she said finally. "It's freezing out here." He hesitated, as if pride was holding him back. But when the little girl shivered, he nodded. "Thank you. You're very kind." Inside, Amelia's small apartment glowed with soft light and warmth. She offered them towels, a blanket, and a cup of hot chocolate. The man introduced himself as Ethan, and his daughter, Lily, shyly smiled before sipping her drink. They talked for a while, small things at first. Amelia learned that Ethan was new to the city, recently moved for work, but hadn't yet found permanent housing. His wife had passed away 2 years ago, and since then, he had been raising Lily alone. There was a quiet strength in his voice, the kind that comes from enduring pain but still choosing to be gentle. Amelia found herself listening more than speaking. The way he spoke about life, his daughter, and hope despite hardships, it stirred something deep within her. It reminded her of her own struggles and how easy it was to lose faith. When Lily finally drifted to sleep on the couch, Ethan gently covered her with the blanket. He turned to Amelia. "I can't thank you enough. You didn't have to do this." She smiled. "Sometimes a small kindness can make a big difference. Maybe one day, you'll do the same for someone else." For a long moment, they just looked at each other, two souls who had never met but somehow felt connected. The snow fell softly outside, the city quiet, as if time had paused. Amelia showed him the guest room and went to her own bed, but sleep didn't come easily. Something about Ethan felt different. Not just his calmness, but the way he carried himself, composed, thoughtful, almost like a man used to leading. But she brushed the thought aside. After all, he was just a traveler with his daughter, wasn't he? When morning light filtered through the curtains, Amelia woke to the smell of coffee. Ethan was in the kitchen, cooking breakfast. "You didn't have to do that," she said, surprised. He smiled. "It's the least I could do for someone who saved us from a freezing night." They ate together, laughing softly as Lily played with Amelia's cat. For the first time in a long while, Amelia felt warmth, not just from the heater, but from something deeper, a sense of connection she had forgotten existed. When it was time for them to leave, Ethan turned to her at the door. "Thank you again. I don't know how to repay you, but I won't forget your kindness." She smiled. "You don't owe me anything. Just take care of yourself and your daughter." As they walked away, Amelia stood by the door watching. Something in her heart told her this wasn't the last time they would meet, that fate had brought them together for a reason. But she had no idea that the man she helped last night would walk into her company next week, not as a stranger, but as the new CEO who would soon turn her life upside down.